What's up, YouTube? Mr. King coming at you live from the studio. So what we got today, we are learning about inheritance, DNA, chromosomes. Here are the questions for the day. Please pause the video now and answer these questions. Next, so remember, genotype is an organism's DNA or genes. That's why it's called genotype. And then phenotype has to do with physical appearance, so your physical traits. So like, for example, genotype, you give them the letters, like big B, little b, and then the phenotype would be you actually get brown eyes from this genotype. Here's some announcements. There's going to be a genetics quiz on Wednesday, and grades are up to date. Many students did not turn in all their assignments last week. Around 46% of students said that they did not complete all the assignments. If you don't complete the assignments during the day, please do them as homework to catch up. Today, you should be able to explain why there are an equal number of males and females in the world. So that's what we're doing today. You're going to take notes and try and learn why are there an equal number of boys and girls in the world. To start, I have a question for you. So every cell in your body has 3 billion bases of DNA. The cell can't hold all of that DNA stretched out. So the cell is really small, and then DNA stretched out would be around 6 feet tall if you stretch out the DNA like that. So try and guess, how can we solve this problem? How can you solve too much DNA, or too much DNA, or the DNA is too big if it's all stretched out? What do you think you can do? DNA is too long and it won't fit in the cell if it's all stretched out. What could you do? Try and put it in the comments or the chat. The answer? DNA is very condensed. The cell does have a solution. DNA is condensed to something called chromosomes. The DNA is really wound really tightly into something called chromosomes. It looks like this. So here's DNA, and it's really shortened down into chromosomes. That's this X-looking thing. So chromosomes carry hundreds of thousands of genes in your DNA, so it can all fit. So the chromosomes carry a lot of DNA, and they just condense it down because otherwise it wouldn't fit into the cell if it was all stretched out. Cool. So as a reminder, your DNA and genes code for traits. So here's a chromosome. This chromosome, for example, codes for eye color, blood, hair, growth. Genes are located on the chromosomes. Here's a reminder, genotype versus phenotype. It's very important. And then here's some notes. So humans, we receive 23 chromosomes from our mom and 23 from our dad. We have 2 copies of each chromosome. So you get like this chromosome from your dad, this from your mom, this chromosome from your dad, this from your mom. That's why you have 2 copies. Each parent gives you their own set, 23 from each. There are a special set of chromosomes. Chromosomes 23, they're called the sex chromosomes. There are 2 types of sex chromosomes. There's X and Y. Men have chromosomes X and Y. Women have X and X. I do have a question for you. So you should have been answering all these as we went. What do you think the Y chromosome does? Hint, everyone starts out with a female body in the womb. So having an X won't necessarily make you female because both men and women start out female. But what do you think the Y chromosome does? Try and think about it. Pause the video now and try and think, what does the Y chromosome do? So the Y chromosome is what determines if you're going to be male. Everyone starts out female. Everyone starts out with a female body in the womb. And then the Y chromosome codes for male body parts and hormones. So like the Y chromosome will signal to the body, like you need to start making a penis and start producing testosterone. And then, so women can only give an X. Women can only give the X chromosomes. No matter what, you're going to get an X from your mom. But men can either give an X or a Y. So try and think, which parent determines the sex of their baby, the male or female? Which one determines sex? Put that in your notes. Okay. And then what you're going to do next, use a Punnett square to show which parent determines the sex of the baby. Put the parent's sex chromosomes here in blue, and then the yellow are the possible babies. The genotypes, what I'm looking for is like XX, what percent of the kids are XX, and which percent are XY. And then a phenotype would be like male, female. Let's switch it around. Okay. So you should have discovered that all fathers determine the gender. A father can either give their X or their Y chromosome. The mom is giving the X no matter what, but the dad can give the X or the Y. So there's a 50% chance men give the X or the Y chromosome. Use the Punnett square in your notes to show me that's true. And then last thing, write a summary. Write a summary in your notes. Tell me in 3 to 5 sentences what you learned today. Your summary to get full points should do these things. It should use the vocab we learned, like chromosomes, DNA, genotype, phenotype. It should use those words, and it should answer, why are there an equal number of boys and girls? So last thing in your notes, please answer that question. That's the last part. Once you're done with all those things, please hit turn in for Monday. DNA notes. Yep. Thank you everyone for sticking with me the whole time. Take the attendance survey when you're done. And thank you. Have a good day. Bye.